All right. Okay, we back up. Shalom, man. The water. Right. I was looking at the scriptures that brothers was bringing out because I got rudely interrupted by Esau Edom. All right. 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 Mother's Day. Right. Hell yeah. Word. Exactly. That's another point. I meant to bring that out. Paul y'all bashing y'all shot. I was going into, the symbolism because we were talking about the light, all right, in Micah the 7th chapter and the 9th verse. Okay? He says, I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna go into it. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. It's right. And we're being married back unto righteousness through Yahweh Shai, who is that light. Okay? And I was mentioning earlier, you need that oil for that light. The oil is the proper knowledge. The oil is to teach you how to be a better man. All right? To be a man of the Lord in all actuality. What is the conclusion of the whole matter? All right? What is the duty of all men? Fear the Most High and keep his commandments. Okay? So you're not really a man if you're not into the Holy Scriptures. It's something I said before, and I say this, something that stood out always to me when we first came into the knowledge. I'm talking about the YouTube era, right? The beginning of the YouTube era. I started watching the videos around 2008, right? And I'll never forget, the apostles used to say, if you're not in the truth, then you a faggot. Oh, excuse my vernacular. Hey, the only thing and you can see, I say this too. It's a spirit, man, because I was telling Kahan Iwad, you see, and I said it last week outside on the highways and hedges, you see the trans world is being more bold. All right, just like what ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, they were so bold to the point where they wanted to actually lay hold on angels. Okay, so you see in that the masculinity decline, but then you see the uprising, the boldness of these plumbing changing individuals, these retrofit bodies. Okay? So let me go back because we were talking about also too, right? It says, verse 10, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is thy Lord, thy power? All right? Because these women, every time there's a movement, and like for instance, Kevin Samuels is an example of a man standing up and speaking out and calling out men, right? Throughout time, I'm calling out men and women, but the main thing, women, right? And throughout time, you've seen these movements occur, right? And people believe if your movement isn't thriving, that what? God isn't with you. Then that must not be the way. So by him passing, now more of these women like, see, that ain't the way. See why God ain't keep him alive. You see, because that's how people think. That's how, especially the nigga woman. And that's what this verse is talking about. Why? Because they make, and brothers know it. We especially you've been in the truth for a while, and regardless, you say particular things and you call out certain things and you say this is how things are supposed to be, but then it don't necessarily go the way in society how you said it was going to go. But then they looking at you like, see, look, that must not be the way. That must not be the truth. Why? Because women don't know long suffering, man. Okay? But that's why it says here. It says, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Meaning what? She's going to be tempered, man. All right? She's going to be laid flat, man. Okay? A lot of these women are going to be stepped on in these last days, man. These so-called baddies and all that, man. All right? But guess what? They're going to have, just to keep the balance, you're going to have a lot of women that are going to be delivered in these last days because they're going to get to the great men. They're going to get to those men. They're going to seek a hiding place. All right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4. Okay? And I'm going to start at verse 1. And in that day, better yet, let's go to Isaiah 13 first. Okay? Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. And boy, oh boy, aren't these women arrogant and proud? Especially seeing that the way of masculinity is not thriving. You have, I believe, the Supreme Court judge, the top Supreme Court judge is a so-called black woman. I played the video earlier on the thing with the abortions, right? And one of them was a black woman saying, yeah, she's one of the senators on board with it, you know, to forward this agenda. Okay? But guess what? No matter how high you're going to get in this society, you're going to be brought low. All right? Because this world is not the world to come, man. The world to come is not for many, man. Okay? It says, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Right? So, just like, because money is a defense. Okay? Scriptures tell you, woe unto you that trust on riches for your deliverance. All right? The real money is this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, which is embedded in the temple, in the body of the men of the Lord. All right? So there are going to be men on earth that are going to overcome in these last days because they are that gold. And the scriptures tell you money is the defense. Okay? It says what? Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Yeah, that's another thing, man. All right? The world is looked frowned upon because, you know, men want to deal with more than one woman. Men are being frowned upon because they want to deal with more than one woman. But guess what? The scriptures tell you that one man shall become 1,000. Okay, how is that possible, man? All right, one woman can't bring forth 1,000 man-child or 1,000 children, man. Right? One man, in order for that to occur, he must have multiple wives, man, multiple women. The process of the sperm count in a man gets developed within minutes. All right, a man, you know, he shoots his arrows, okay? And then after that, he can reload those arrows extremely fast, man, to bring forth what? More seed. Matter of fact, there was a movie, it was a Spike Lee joint. You know, he had that one Jake in there, man. He was in Pain and Gain with Mark Wahlberg. And, you know, all those women that lived the alternative lifestyle that didn't want to deal with a man, his ex wound up getting with a girl and they wanted a child and they wanted to get with him. He wound up popping her and the other her girlfriend, but then she spread the word, and then he basically became a sperm bank, man. Okay? Because what? A man can do that. And then they went to court, and then he had all these women, he had all these children. The only thing that wasn't right about it is that the women were dealing with each other. You eliminate that aspect, and everything about that is righteousness. Everything about that is a foreshadow of things to come. And this is what this devil hates, that we actually believe this and it's going to come to pass. Because our belief is what forwards this thing, man. That's why you have the likes of Vocab Malone to pull that away, to pull the belief, to pull the doubt. Just like how, that's why through the Spirit, see, Esau's carnal, he'll clip everything. Even though you're not a man of the Lord, he's going to clip you. He's going to try to clip you. And that's why I read that. I'm going to quote that scripture again. And I read that the gates of hell shall not prevail against that church that Yahweh shall set up. And what's the gates of hell? The gates represents the leaders. And what's hell? Destruction. All right? The man of sin. The leaders of the man of sin. And you riddle me this, you Christians out there, man. If you so happen to see this, man, vocab alones and the likes thereof. All right? How is the gates of hell going to come up against Peter if hell is a place under earth? It makes no sense. That means the gates of hell have to be on earth to come up against Peter and the church. Okay? Now, like I said, Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread. What does it mean to eat your own bread? You're going to go to your own house. You're going to go to your own nation. You're going to go to your own men. Right? As opposed to going to college and making that your mother, making that your career. Which, like I quoted in the last video, a woman's career is to serve her man and raise up children as much as possible, man. That's why that video, the last video he went viral with Kevin Samuels and all that was, well, after 35, you left over. It's just true. All right? Woman, and this is why, again, the controversy. See, it all ties in together. The controversy with the whole so-called rape thing. All right? And a woman being a woman at the age of when she gets puberty. All right? In ancient times, that would happen around 12, 13 years old. Nowadays, because of all the GMOs, all right, because of the air that we breathe, right, and the fucked up foods, all right, now that happens at a premature age. So that's why it's not, that's one of the reasons why it's not feasible or it's not expedient in this time. All right? But when things go back to normal, which it is, because heaven will be on earth, okay? That's going to occur. By the time a young woman, she becomes a woman, she's going to go she's going to leave her father's house and go into her man's house. All right? They're going to be ladies. The women of our nation, they're going to be ladies. Their feet are not going to touch the floor. They're going to delegate tasks to their maidservants, which are going to be of the heathen woman. Okay? It says what? It says, let us be called by thy name and to take away our reproach. Right? Because every time you see a woman in the scriptures, it tells you who her husband was. Okay? But you got the naysayers, but in the likes of Esther, she was young. She didn't have a man. That's why Ahasuerus was able to take her. Because she was a young woman. That's why you got that show, The Handmaid's Tale. All right, showing you how the elites, they want the young woman. Why? Because is when the mind is fertile. And you can get them to be in your agenda. You can get them to move in your way. That's how you want it to be. And in the kingdom of heaven, those women are going to move in a spirit of righteousness, man. Okay? It says what? To take away our reproach. And in that day, the branch of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Escaped of what? The pending destruction, the thermonuclear fire. All right? Martial law. Okay? Death. The gates of hell. All right? It says what? And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. Who is the ones written among the living? All right? Those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life, man. All right? That's the living. All right? The scripture tell you that the living is going to lay these words to heart. All right? Jerusalem that's a spiritual thing at this point, man. All right? Spiritual Jerusalem is being built up. Okay? And those that are going to stay firm in it are not going to let that be taken out of their foreheads. Okay? This thing should be in the forehead of your mind, man. Okay? It says what? It says, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. You see, like I mentioned earlier, a man, which is talking about what? That's actually talking about a sacrifice, man. When you see a cloud, right? Because that cloud will hover over the tabernacle every time it was time for Moses to make a sacrifice. When you go into the book of Numbers, that cloud would appear in the day, all right? And that cloud would appear, well, we knew it was that light at night. It would appear every time it was time to make a sacrifice. And it was supposed to be a sacrifice in the evening time and a sacrifice in the morning. But that man is that sacrifice. That's why the scriptures tell you, your body, let your bodies be a living sacrifice, right? It says, for upon the glory shall be a defense, okay? And that's what the defense of Israel always was, being subservient and making a proper. But once that proper sacrifice was made by the priest, then the Most High would defend the children of Israel. You can read that in the book of Samuel, all right? When the Philistines were breaching the children of Israel, Samuel took the lamb, all right? Shed forth the blood, made that sacrifice, then thunder and lightning took out those Philistines. And this time, the men of the Lord are going out in the highways and hedges and making the proper sacrifice, right? Which is what? Preaching the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And then Yahweh Shai is going to return, right? And deliver the elect out of the nation of Israel. The men, women, and children who are ordained to be delivered in these last days. Okay? It says what? And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from storm and from rain. What is that storm? What is that rain? All right, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. Okay? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, man, that's the rain. That's the floods. But it said what? That tabernacle shall be a covert. Okay? Now, what's the tabernacle? All right? Like I mentioned earlier, this is Revelation 21:3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. All right? This tabernacle that's being built, this church that's being built is not with FRNs, man. All right? We have a funding that's outside of the economy of Esau Edom, man. And this is what he's mad about. No 501c3, right? Just the scriptures say, come buy without milk. Oh, I'm sorry. Come buy milk without money. Okay? Give me 1 second. Isaiah chapter 55:1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. So the truth can't be defunded. All right? True masculinity can't be defunded. All right? That's like taking away the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's like saying that the moon is going to be out of its course. That's like saying the sun is going to be out of its course. All right? Which I should say, that's like saying the moon is not going to change its light anymore. All right? Because the moon is not in course. The sun is in course around the earth. Okay? And that's what the scriptures say, what? If those ordinances cease from among me, then that shall the children of Israel no more shall be called my people. And when you look up that word children, it says what? The sons, the men. Okay? So manhood is going to stay as long as the sun is in course. Know that. All right? And that's pretty much it, man. I'm going to close on that. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Shalom.